appears we may have a deal when it comes to China. In fact, markets have risen after President Donald Trump essentially caved on the tariffs for most goods coming in from China. U.S. and Chinese officials said on Monday that they had reached a deal to roll back most of their recent tariffs, as well as calling for a 90-day truce in their trade war to allow for more talks on resolving some of their trade disputes. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said the U.S. agreed to drop the 145% tariff rate on Chinese goods by about 115 percentage points down to about 30, while China agreed to lower its rate on U.S. goods by the same amount to 10%. Economists note that tariffs still remain high than before, much higher than they were before, and that the outcome of the future talks is uncertain. Yes. Not only that, but what's really important here is what they left out of this deal. Small packages from China are still subject to tariffs of 120%. According to a White House official that confirmed this on Monday. Now, the reason is Trump had ended a loophole that would allow low-value goods into the country without tariffs, meaning that there will still be a 120% tariff rate on shipments valued at less than $800, or a flat $100 fee per postal item, a White House official tells Axios. And in starting on June 1st, that flat fee will increase to $200. Packages that were valued at less than $800 previously enjoyed the de minimis exemption from added levies, which allowed foreign online retailers like Temu and Shein to sell cheap items to American consumers. But, no more of that. No more of that. So that's over. Nonetheless, the markets shot right back up. Futures for the S&P 500 jumped 2.6%. The Dow Jones was up 2%. Oil prices also went up $1.60 a barrel, and the dollar gained against the euro and the yen. Mark Williams, chief Asia economist at Capital Economics, says this is a substantial de-escalation. It's a cave. It's a cave. But that same person warned that there's no guarantee that the 90-day truce will give way to a lasting ceasefire. So here we go. We've got more on again, off again tariffs. Great. Great. Now, that said, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said of this, the consensus from both delegations this weekend is that neither side wants a decoupling. And that's what had occurred with these very high tariffs was an embargo, the equivalent of an embargo. And neither side wants that. We do want trade. We want more balanced trade. And I think that both sides are committed to achieving that. Gotcha. Look, here's the thing. I don't think Donald Trump understands the idea of what balanced trade actually is. What Trump is looking for is a win. That's it. Trump does not do details. Okay? The details for him are unimportant. In fact, look, the last time a Trump administration had put a trade dispute on hold with Beijing was back in 2018. Now, the U.S. had abandoned a deal in progress and spent another 18 months negotiating, only for China to eventually renege on the purchase agreement that they'd ultimately reached. So there you go. Apparently, it's more appearance than details. And the appearance is Donald Trump actually caved. He didn't get anything from this. And in fact, according to Fox Business's Charles Gasparino, he wrote, both sides have blinked. Following up by saying, I didn't say we won. No, Trump raised tariffs on the world, the markets, particularly the bond market, which we need to finance our debt, rebelled. Trump was then forced to back off, end of story, film at 11, the president spinning, this is a major victory. Okay, sorry, couldn't help myself. But what we have seen is a little lesson on how markets exert their power. How, when you have to depend on them, as we still do, and remember, it's really the budget deficit that's causing the trade deficit, and we need the budget deficit to maintain our standard of living, you can't go to trade war with the world without bad stuff happening. Yes. So, now, here's the other thing, right? One of the reasons that I think this trade war, Okay, the tariffs on China specifically were a dumb idea, especially when it comes to manufacturing, because the whole point that Trump was like, oh, we got to bring American manufacturing back. Okay, but you're focused on the wrong thing. Blaming China, right? It ain't China's fault. They didn't go and steal U.S. manufacturing. No, this was greedy shareholders and CEOs that voluntarily sent our manufacturing overseas to an economy that at the time was still developing, meaning that these companies could take advantage of the lower standard of living in order to exploit workers because they didn't want to pay American workers. That's it. So they sent their companies overseas and they reaped incredible profits while hollowing out America's manufacturing base. Okay. Now, if you wanted to rebuild manufacturing, I mean, first off, you would need to massively invest, okay, in this country, and then give incentives. And then, of course, add in maybe targeted tariffs, like on solar panels, computer chips. Oh, yeah. I seem to remember a president doing that. Oh, right, it was President Joe Biden. Huh. Yeah, under Biden, manufacturing jobs had actually grown by around 800,000. Now, and it's, of course, that's first 2 years. The third year, growth wasn't as big and all that. But what's important here is what Biden did with the tariffs. Remember, he did keep some of Donald Trump's first term tariffs, okay? And even expanded on some of them, right? Now, that's ultimately because tariffs can be effective. But if you're smart with them, okay? Which this administration, not exactly smart. That said, time will eventually tell if Donald Trump's tariff strategy, if you want to call it that, ends up doing some good. That said, as of right now, it looks like this was a massive cave for no good reason. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.